What's going on, boys? Today we're going to be going over the best cheap cards that you guys can get in MLB The Show 21. So these are the cards that aren't going to necessarily break the bank, but these cards are going to play just as good as the cards that cost millions of stubs, and they are going to help you win some ball games. Maybe you're a new player, maybe you're an experienced player. Budget beasts are on every team, even on my team, and I've got all of the goated guys. And a lot of these guys play just as good as some of these 99s that just came out. Now, boys, if this video ends up helping you guys out, make sure you guys drop a like. Let's try to hit 100 likes on the video. Let's get right into it. Do you guys want cheap stubs on the market? Make sure you guys go to MLB.com, today's sponsor, and make sure you guys use code MAIT for 5% off your purchase. Alright, boys, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go over the budget beasts on my squad, and then I'm going to talk about a bunch of good budget beasts that didn't make my squad but are amazing. The first budget beast that is going to be on this list is going to be Yazmani Grandal. I love this card to death. He is a switch hitter. I know he's super duper slow, but he's got diamond defense, a really good arm, and he's a switch hitting catcher who hits great. Now, I've been kind of using him and Adley at the catcher position, but whenever you look at him and Adley, you can see that Yazmani has some better hitting stats. Obviously, the thing about Adley, though, is he has better vision and better speed, but no one really cares about that. And defensive stats, I mean, they're helpful, but I think that it's pretty par with Adley Rutschman. They're both amazing cards, and I really like this Yazmani Grandal swing. I loved him last year. I love him this year. He is always going to be one of my favorite switch hitting catchers every single year. The next guy that I'm going to talk about that's really cheap for under about 15,000 stubs is Potanzis. Potanzis is so good for me. I got him for playing the event, and I don't know if his price maybe went up a little bit because of him being a prime card, but he's throwing 31 innings for me. He's got a 3.7 ERA. That slurve is disgusting. I know he's only got 3 pitches, but he is a great pitcher. As far as other bullpen guys that are really good for cheap, Kendall Graveman, obviously. I know he's a monthly awards. He is amazing. Guys like Gregory Soto, Josh Hader, and Alex Reyes are still good. And then on top of that, there's guys like Andrew Kitteridge, who you got from the monthly awards this time, who was amazing just because he has really good control and a pretty good pitch mix. As far as starters go, there are some guys. The three guys that I obviously love right now are still like Jacob deGrom, Greg Maddux, and Edward Cabrera, all guys that you can get by just playing Showdown. Now, I'm not going to turn this into a Showdown video because if I was just talking about free cards, I'd talk about all of the ones that are just absolutely amazing, like Mickey Mantle and Gary Sheffield, both guys that I think should be on your team. But we're going to start talking about all of the cards that are really good that can make your lineup for under about 15,000 stubs. The first guy on this list that I'm going to say is really good is going to be Lars Nootbaar. Now, not only is he a really funny name, but his swing is amazing. Now, his swing is really good against righties and lefties. He meets the threshold versus lefties. He's got good vision. He plays pretty good defense. I think he's a really good budget beast left fielder that you can get for about 9,000 stubs. He is an animal. If you need somebody, make sure you guys go pick up Nootbaar because he is really solid. The next guy we're going to be talking about is Joey Wendell. Now, Joey Wendell, the reason why he is so good, again, an amazing swing plus. I know he's listed as a third baseman, but you can put this guy as shortstop with 85 fielding. You put this guy as second base, so I look at him more as a third baseman and a second baseman. I don't really look at him as a shortstop completely, but he is really good. He has a great swing, and he's going to get a lot of hits for you, as well as play amazing defense wherever you put him. The next guy that's really good is Michael Conforto. Now, if you know anything about MLB The Show games and Battle Royale, you know that Michael Conforto is always a huge pick for everybody because he has one of the sweetest swings in the game, and he is juiced versus righties on this card. Now, this card is probably a bench bat budget beast. Now, unless you want to platoon him, I don't think he's good at lefties. So if you're facing a lefty, I would not keep him in. Maybe you want to use him against righties and you want to use him as a bench bat, or you want to use him in right field. And then whenever someone's actually throwing a lefty, you actually go to somebody else. But I think Michael Conforto versus righties is flat out disgusting. You guys need to get this card because he is legit. The next guy I want to talk about is actually going to be Nestor Cortez. Now, the reason why I'm saying Nestor Cortez in this video is the fact that he has an amazing pitch mix and he throws below the speed limit. Now, I wanted to show you guys his stats, and so what we're doing here is we're showing you his stats. He has a 90-mile-an-hour fastball, an 85-mile-an-hour cutter, and a 77-mile-an-hour slider. Now, I know a lot of you guys are like, well, that's really slow, and the per nines do not look great. For budget beast, what makes Nestor Cortez so good is he throws under the speed limit, which is really good with good command. And the thing about Nestor is that he throws slower than everybody else, which means he is different than everybody else. Not a lot of guys see guys that are starters that throw 90 miles an hour. And the fact is that he's just going to be a little bit different than anybody else that you're going to face. And you're probably going to be able to catch some guys off guard because he is going to throw really, really slow. And he's honestly going to cheese you some W's. The next guy on this list is actually going to be Xander Bogart. You can get Xander Bogarts for dirt cheap right now, about 5,500 stubs. What makes him so amazing is that he's just a 5-tool shortstop, and he's going to be able to defend it pretty well. He's going to be able to hit pretty well, and he's got a really good swing. I pick Bogarts up in the mid-round for BR all of the time for the mid-diamonds, and I personally think that he is one of the better shortstops in the game. Still, I don't necessarily know if he's going to be amazing, but he's been hitting pretty well for me. I know I only have 6 ABs for him. I pick him up in BR. And he is an animal. He can definitely make your God squad and play shortstop very well as hit his own weight. My next guy is actually going to be Tyler Gilbert. He throws under the speed limit. Again, another guy. But he is pretty dang good. His hits per 9 are amazing. His Ks per 9 and home runs per 9 actually fall off. But for a budget guy, I think that he's really good for about 6,500 stubs. That's amazing. Now, this is a guy that would probably be your guys' 5th starter, and I do recommend going after some of these showdowns for better starting pitching. I do know that some of these guys are going to be good, and they'll do just fine for about 11,000, 7,000 stubs. But those team affinity guys are going to be a lot better, such as DeGrom, Edward Cabrera, Greg Maddux. Those are 3 guys that I think start over every single person in this list. The next guy I'm going to be talking about today is going to be Gary Sanchez. Now, Gary Sanchez is a really good top snout catcher. The reason why is if you know about Gary, he has an amazing swing. And on top of that, he's not going to be one of the best defensive guys behind the plate, but he is going to have a cannon with the 90 arm strength that's going to do the job. What makes Gary so good is the fact that the guy hits baseballs a very long way. With 120 and 125 power, this is going to be really good all the way up to about Hall of Fame. I think that if you're going to be playing some games on Legend, Gary Sanchez, maybe not the guy you go with, but for All-Star games, Hall of Fame games, anytime that you are a rating under 900, I think that you're going to be fine with Gary Sanchez because he flat out rakes. The only thing that kind of worries me is the very low contact numbers and the vision, but if you know Gary, he's going to play above his stats and he's going to hit some bombs. And the last guy on this list is going to be Garrett Hampson. Now, this guy has a really good swing. He's a 98 overall. He has really good hitting numbers, especially versus righties. And the thing that makes Garrett Hampson so good is he can play literally everywhere. You can get this guy for about 9,900 stubs, and he's going to be solid. He's going to play 90 fielding in center field. And honestly, I think his best position is going to be center field where he has 97 speed. But you can also see the guy is shortstop. He's pretty much a 5-tool player, and he's very, very balanced. This card is amazing. He's definitely one of the guys you guys are going to end up needing. Unlike other budget beast video, I am going to end up talking about affinities a little bit just because affinity cards are amazing and you need to be taking advantage of them. One guy that I'm going to say that you guys are going to need is Frank Thomas. Frank Thomas is amazing. He's a free card. You can end up getting this guy really simply. If you need help with it, make sure you guys are checking out my showdown tips and stuff like that because that's going to help you a ton. As far as pitching goes, guys like Greg Maddux, Bob Gibson, they're just going to be a lot better than a lot of these budget beasts. And honestly, if you're wanting some bullpen guys as well, some of these bullpen guys are really, really good. Gregory Soto, Josh Hader, Alex Reyes, even the brand new Trevor Hoffman, I think is very, very good. And you're going to want to be able to utilize those budget beasts as well as those guys on tops now that are amazing to end up having a squad that can end up comparing with a lot of these 99 overall studs that actually ended up coming out. Now, again, if this video ended up helping you guys out, please drop a like and a sub. Thank you guys so much for watching and staying to the end of the video. I'll talk to you guys later, and peace.